What's going on, guys? We are back at the junkyard today, and we're gonna see if that prelude's still here. We're gonna try to take off the clutch pedal and assembly, and while we're at it, if there's any other new preludes here, we'll see if we can find like a distributor and the air idle control valve for the minivan. And if the prelude's not here, we'll just jack clutch assembly off like in a cord or something like that. But yeah, I'm sure we'll find something, but we do need to find a clutch pedal and master cylinder for the minivan, so that's why we're here today, and we're gonna find one. Looks like they got another prelude, except this one's an automatic with a H22A4, and the distributor's missing, and someone took the air idle control valve. The two things we need are gone, but everything else seems to be there. Look at these tapes someone left on this Civic.
What are they set to?
It says the basics of emissions control. It's like a video. 2.5 TL new model introduction.
97.
What the heck?
New introduction.
That's kind of cool. Too bad we don't have a VCR. Here it is, it's still here. They haven't taken it away yet. So we're gonna be pulling off this master cylinder right here, or it's actually, you know, tucked back there. This is just the reservoir for it. And then we're gonna be going inside and pulling off the clutch pedal, the whole assembly. And we're gonna try to make that work in the minivan. I just noticed that the intake from this prelude has been sitting over here on this Civic this whole time. And of course someone took the air idle control valve off of this one as well. I don't know what's so special about them, but I guess they have some value, because there are none over here. All right, we got the whole clutch pedal assembly out of the car, and I think we're gonna go look around real quick because this little reservoir is missing a cap. So we're gonna go find a lid for that, and I think we'll be all set. That's all we need. And yeah, we're probably gonna have to modify it quite a bit to make it fit the Odyssey, but I'm sure we'll make it work.
Dude, found a fucking Magnum.
Found a Magnum?
Yeah.
Ooh, in the back of the Teggy?
In the back of the Teggy.
Someone was smashing, bro. Too bad their door fell off. Something blew their doors off, so they had to junk it.
Butterfly doors, but reverse.
Got a Civic back here with a D16 Z6. That'll be nice if my wagon ever breaks down again. Could use the crank out of that. That's a good swap right there. That's the D series everyone wants right there. And this thing also has a lid. See if it fits the one we have right here. Nice.
Honda approved.
We're ready to go. Well, we're heading out. I wish I could have found an air idle control valve or like a distributor, but
yeah,
there was none.
Wish could have got more stuff too.
Yeah, well, my pockets ain't empty, cuz. Oh, look at all these 12s for the exhaust headers. Do we always need these? So I snagged a few. All right, guys, so we're continuing this from yesterday. Sorry we didn't make a video. We just kind of ran out of time. We were running into some issues, but mainly just brainstorming some things, but I think we're ready to go today. So this is the master cylinder that we pulled out of that prelude yesterday. We have the clutch assembly as well with the pedal, and I also got this today. This is a brake pedal out of an Accord, and the reason we need this is because the automatic pedal, we could just cut this one to size, but this one like brings it over and, you know, just puts it in the right spot so that we don't really have to modify the clutch pedal, or else the clutch pedal would be hitting right here on the automatic brake pedal. So we have a lot of work to get this clutch pedal installed. I don't think we're gonna go step by step, but we'll give the general idea of how we're gonna do it. So we started off by taking off this plate right here, and we're gonna have to move a lot of this wiring and stuff out of the way to make room for the new assembly. And we're gonna have to drill 3 holes somewhere right up under here, right under this plug where this harness comes through, this black plug on the firewall. We have to drill 1 big hole for the master cylinder and then 2 for the bolts, and the pedal assembly will be bolting up here. And yeah, there's some forums online on how to convert a auto Accord to a manual Accord, and I'm pretty much following those same instructions since this has the same engine bay as the Accord and it is very similar to the Accords. So that's what we're going off of. Our clutch pedal assembly off of the Prelude is going to sit just under where this wiring harness is coming through on the firewall right there. You can see right here it's hitting on these plugs, so that's why we have to move some things around. But once we get the holes drilled and get it mounted up there, it should sit in about the right area. It's going to be a little higher and a little more to the left than it is right now where you're looking at it, And then we're probably going to have to take the brake and gas pedal assembly out as well so I can install the new gas pedal, because there's some other little things we have to modify and I'm not going to be able to do it with the pedals in the van. So one thing right off the bat, the old brake light switch on the Accord is on this side, on the right side right here. And on the Odyssey, it's on the left side right here. See this tab? So I believe that's for the brake light switch right there. So I'm gonna have to weld a tab off of this pedal to activate that. And then I'm gonna have to cut off the tab from this one right here, because if you look at it, it looks like it would hit on the steering column right there if I left the tab on. But pretty much just gonna have to modify a lot of things. I'll try to explain it as best as I can once we start tearing into it, but for right now we're gonna go ahead and start tearing all this stuff out from underneath the dash and free up some space so we can get this clutch pedal installed. Sweet. All right, well, we got the brake pedal assembly off, but in the process I accidentally broke off the brake light switch. You could probably see it in the last video. I left it plugged in, so when I pulled it out, it just broke this guy right off. Not a big deal, we'll get a new one, so we just won't have brake lights for a little bit. But yeah, so this is the new pedal off the Accord, the new brake pedal, and it just swaps right in. But this is what I was talking about right here. I'm gonna have to trim this little tab off, and then I'm going to have to weld a tab coming off of it right here, just like how this one has it. I can probably just cut this one off and weld it to the new one because they have a similar bend. Actually, it's the same exact bend. So yeah, I can just take it off that one, probably drill the spot welds out and put it onto the new one right here, and she'll be ready to go. Then we'll put the brake pedal in and put that assembly back in there, and then get the gas pedal hooked back up, and then we can start messing with getting the clutch pedal installed. Got it. All right, so we got this tab cut off of the automatic brake pedal, and right now we just have it tacked onto the manual one just to make sure it fits upright. And this was the piece we had to cut off that was on this side, so we cut that off because I think if we didn't do that, it would hit on the steering column just a little bit, and we don't need it, so we just cut it off anyways. And yeah, we're just gonna double check to make sure it lines up before we get it fully welded, just like that. And it's like barely off. Like just barely, a couple millimeters, but I mean, that's still pretty perfect to me. That'll work fine right there. It'll hit our switch, so we're good to weld it up. And then after we do that, we're gonna just get this brake pedal repainted so it doesn't like rust later on where we have it ground off, even though it probably won't ever do that, but we'll paint it black to make it look pretty, even though you'll never see it. Can't even tell it's not stock. All right, we got our brake pedal ready to go. It's all painted and welded up, so we're gonna start putting everything back together for this. Squeeze this guy in here. Ooh, she's tight.
Hey.
There we go.
Sweet.
Nice. We have our brake. Yep, and that lines up good. Okay, so before we put our brake pedal and stuff back in, we're gonna cut out some of this insulation that's on the firewall so we can get to the metal behind it, because we're gonna have to drill a hole right under here for the clutch pedal assembly and the master cylinder to go in. So we're gonna be mounting it just a little bit underneath where this wiring harness comes through. I think I said this earlier. And yeah, that's where it mounts on a factory Prelude. And that's about where it should sit if we want our pedals, you know, to look all right, or else we're gonna have to cut the clutch pedal and, you know, like modify it to get it in the spot we want so it doesn't look weird. But if we put it up here, it should be all right. So I'm gonna start cutting everything out real quick. This might be a little tough. I have a really dull razor, but we're gonna try. So our light just died, and that's why this light might look different now. But I think we got this ready to rip out. Just like that. And now we can get to this spot right here. We're gonna be putting it right there somewhere. right under this plug. Yeah, I think we should hang up the brake pedal too real quick, just to see where everything's gonna sit. All right, got the brake pedal in place. It clears perfect. It's just barely hitting right here on this, but that's because it's not up where it should be. Once that's up into place, it's not gonna hit at all. So that's perfect. And then now we just need to see for sure where the clutch pedal is gonna go. An idea. I mean, ideally we would want it like right there. So I might be a little farther over to the left like that and down just a little bit. That's not too bad though. Yeah. And like I said, I can always cut this and like bring it closer if I want them tighter, but that'd look pretty good just right there. Yeah. We found out where we're gonna put the clutch assembly or the pedal. So there's this dot right here with silver Sharpie. It's kind of hard to see, but that marks this bottom right hole right here. And that's gonna go just like that. And you can see I also have it marked out on silver Sharpie right up here because I'm gonna have to trim some of this lip off because right here, can you see it on camera? Yeah, right here, this is elevated. So, you know, it's not gonna sit flush on there. So we have to trim this off so it goes around this bump right here. And then the reservoir or the master cylinder on the other side will still be 100% flat because it sits about like that. So it's still completely in the flat area and we won't have to shave that at all. So what we're gonna do right now is get this piece cut off right here so we can hang that up, and then we're gonna go ahead and start drilling our holes through the firewall right here. We'll drill 2 little ones and then hole saw this big one out, and then we'll be able to start mounting it up from there. That's an issue. I just cut through one of the spot welds. Ah, that's hot. So I'm gonna have to re-weld that up real quick, but it's no big deal. All right, we got that little section cut off and ground down and welded up since I broke one of the spot welds, and it lines up good. Now it doesn't hit on this part right here where it's elevated on the firewall. So now that will clear, and now we can start drilling our holes. Oh dude, this poor drill is about to die. It sounds so bad. Oh, we're almost through though. Come on, drill, you can do it. There we go. Nice.
She's through.
Yep. So now, just take our gasket. Where's that at? Just hold this up here and use that as a guide for our other 2 holes. Decent. Oh, they're just barely off. We just have to like oval one of the holes, just barely though. It'll be good. You could probably like hammer it on. I might try it from the outside. Yeah, I think we can get it actually like that.
Yeah, because then we don't have to hold it.
Yeah, yeah, it'll just hold itself nice. But we might have to put little spacers right here still. Yeah. I think I need to do that. I'll just probably throw a couple nuts on there with washers and just let them sit. Because according to the forums, they need a little space right here, or else it's going to be too long and it won't clamp right on the firewall. It'll be all floppy. Okay, so we're ready to put our master cylinder in there. I made these little spacers just out of a nut and washer. I just tacked a washer on there each side just so it stays centered because the nuts are a little big. And so we're gonna see if those work. They should work out pretty good, I think. And while we were waiting for the paint to dry on the clutch pedal earlier today, we also went and picked up this steel braided clutch line. It has like this smoked black cover on it, so it looks pretty cool. It has these like little purple fittings. But we went and picked this up today so we can run this to the slave cylinder. And yeah, so we're going to put this 90, we have one side 90 degree. We're gonna put that on right here, get it tight, and then we'll drop it into the van and start tightening everything up. All right, ready to put her in. All right, so it's through the firewall, and since we have those spacers on the outside, I'm gonna put the gasket on the inside of the car. Try to help keep water out and stuff like that. Now let's try to put our pedal on. Oh shit. Man had the clutch pedal.
There it is, boy. Cheap.
It clears, doesn't hit anything. Nice, and it doesn't look too bad. It's a little, this isn't bolted into place yet either, but it looks a little off a little bit, but we might be able just to bend her just to make it straight. I mean, it looks pretty good. We'll tweak everything out later once we know it's working though. So we still also need to make a mount that will connect it to the top up here. But we might do that in another video. We might not have enough time to get to that today. I do want to make sure everything works first. But we do need to get this top mount done at some point, especially like before we start driving it around, because if we only have these 2 bolts holding it on over time, it's going to put like a lot of force on the on the firewall right there, and it could like start to bend it and possibly even like, you know, break the piece of the I keep saying flywheel. Break a piece of the firewall out. So we do want to put that 3rd support up there so it's supported really good. But other than that, I think she is ready to go. So now we need to start putting all this stuff back together. But now that it's in there, I think we should connect it and fill up the reservoir and just see if we can get the slave cylinder to work.
Yep.
Let's test it out real quick. Got our slave on there. We got our clutch line ran just behind the intake. It's a little longer than it needs to be, but that's all right. We made it like that so we knew we had enough. And we can just tuck any of the excess out of the way. We got 6 feet of it, but it does look really nice. I really like that. Black with the little purple on the ends. And it's already tight on the master cylinder side, so we just gotta tighten her down right here and fill her up and see if we can get this thing to work. All right, gonna get some brake fluid in there, some DOT. And we don't have the reservoir thingy mounted yet, so we need to do that too. But I just want to see it work. All right, I guess I'll start pumping the clutch pedal. Yep. That's something you normally don't hear someone say in a minivan.
All right, go for it. Oh, she's coming out, guys.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I already feel pressure on it.
Yeah, hold on, keep going. There's still a lot of air though. Hold on, stop. I need to feel it.
See that pumped up so fast?
Yeah. Keep going.
Tighten it?
Yeah.
Dude, go film the cylinder. I think it's already moving.
Oh yeah. Look at that, guys. Yeah, she's working.
Oh shit, bro.
Sweet.
Dude, it feels really good.
Yeah. It looks like it moves it really good too. Just top it off, just so we have a little extra. Right there, we'll be good.
All right, guys, well, the clutch is working, pedals all hooked up. Like I said, we do need to go back and add that 3rd bolt on top for more support, but I think we're gonna test it out tonight. So everything seems to be working, and real quick, we're gonna jack it up and throw the axles in. I don't think I mentioned these yet, but we got some brand new Accord axles right here. Brent actually gave these to me because they were cleaning up the shop like a week ago, and he said they found them just like in the corner under a whole bunch of parts, and he's like, yeah, you can take them because they don't have any use for them. So that's awesome. Thank you, Brent, for that. But we're gonna get these thrown in there. We have to get both the axles in and also put the half shaft on the motor. So this just sits like right behind the block and connects into the tranny that way. But yeah, we're gonna get it jacked up, throw these in there and see if she'll go into gear and see if the clutch works. Try to back it out. You know, there's obviously, like I said, a lot of things we need to do, like the radiator and some other stuff, but I just want to see it move under its own power. And then once we know everything is working correctly, we'll probably spend most of tomorrow getting her buttoned up and ready to go. All right, so we got pretty much everything put back together as far as making it work good enough so we can try to back it out. So I rehooked up the brake pedal and the gas pedal. We got the axles back in, and the shifter is still not bolted to anything. It's still just on the floor, but it's still good enough to just hold it and get it into gear. The clutch feels like it's working good. We got the battery plugged in, and also we did hook up the oil pressure gauge. It was just resting under the hood right now. So we can double check the oil pressure because we haven't checked that yet once we, from the last time we started it. So we have that hooked up. So we're gonna check the oil pressure. And yeah, I don't see any reason why it won't back out. I think she'll be good to go. So we're gonna try to fire it up real quick and see if we can back it out of the garage. And probably just let it idle just for a second and then pull it back in. Make sure it goes forward and reverse, make sure the clutch is working. And yeah, we're just not gonna let it warm up because there's still no radiator. Yeah, let's see it, we're ready to go. And I did say in the last video, we also do have training fluid as well. So don't be worried about that either. Oh yeah, dude, it drives. One step closer. Oh dude, I'm pumped. Guys, I mean, it's gonna be going in the next couple days, guys.
For sure.
It's gonna be going. I wanna see if we can find a downpipe to connect it from the headers to the exhaust, because I think a stock Prelude or Accord downpipe will just bolt right up and I can just drive it for now with the full exhaust. But I do have a eBay half-size radiator on the way. For now, we can probably just throw the full size in because there's so much room until that one comes in. But you know, if that one comes in a couple of days, I'll probably just wait because I don't want to redo everything. But yeah, we need to make the throttle cable more legit, because right there when I kind of revved it, I felt it pop loose because we just have this tab holding it in place. So we need to get a legit mount for that and button up a lot more things. But once we get a radiator, we could drive it around the block if we wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Goes into, dude, the clutch feels perfect, and it looks like a little spaced out, but it feels like when you're driving it, it feels perfect. It feels like a Civic.
Like regular.
Yeah, it feels perfect. We actually do need to, I thought the pedal was going too far down, but it's too much. We need to go the other way.
Okay.
Like I have to almost let it all the way out before it starts to go.
Yeah.
Like it engages too much. So that just means it's working good. But yeah, looks sweet. Got our custom braided line. That looks really nice in there. And yeah, don't know what else to say for tonight. Hope you guys are excited. Like, it's going down. It moves under its own power. We got to clean up the inside, put the dash back together. But yeah, that's something we're definitely going to get done tomorrow. And I would guess in the next couple days that we'll be able to drive this around the block, have the radiator in there if that one comes, and she'll be ready to go. And then, you know, from there on, I'm probably gonna start ordering turbo parts as well within the next few days, maybe within this week, and start getting all that done. And it's only a matter of time, guys. So, yeah, that's gonna be it. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed.